Yeah, welcome everybody to the World of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Emily Gilmer, and excited to bring you another episode of Workability. Crypto with Tim Torosian and Neil Weber. I do here every Sunday at 4 and 5:30 p.m. Central. Um, and we're here with Neil. So, Neil, I'm gonna pass it over to you to kick us off. What are we talking about today?
Yes. Hello. This is Neil Weber calling, speaking rather, and I just wanted to speak a little about disability and finding finding our ability within our disability. And I think the core element is character, and I think the core element of character is the willingness to work and the willingness to face our challenges and overcome the challenges that we have. Um, Ensuring that we can find within ourselves those characteristics that allow us to work. And I think I'm thinking of two individuals that I've studied in the past and learned much from that would be Helen Keller and FDR. I just read a book on FDR called The Man He Became, and he truly didn't necessarily overcame his his um, his paralysis of the legs, but he did face it and was able to walk partially. But his main thing was his great spirit that he had. He had a great spirit, a great attitude, and he had an excuse me, I'm having a hard time with this word. Un, Unquenchable gladness. So he had a great gladness. And so he had this in 1920, he was stricken with the disease of polio. And that was probably most likely acquired at a Boy Scout camp. And there was very poor sanitation at this camp. And he probably contracted at that place. Unfortunately, while he had access to very good medical care, he didn't have um, he didn't have access to it at the time because he was away from his personal physicians. So so he contracted it. The disease started to run a course. He got some help initially, but unfortunately, it paralyzed his lower limbs. But he worked on his body for 5 years, and then was able in by after 5 years was able to walk with the aid of a cane. So quite amazing story. Um, Another hero or heroine rather of the disability movement is Helen Keller. Helen Keller was born, or not born, but she was at 19 months. She was part deaf, blind, and she and was able to teach and travel and lectured and was able to support herself with despite having these handicaps. And so these are two great Americans who before that the disability Social Security disability income was offered to people, these people provided for it. Now, of course, they had great families that helped them, provided for them very well, which often doesn't happen for today. So that is what was one reality today. So these are two Americans that are good. One blessing we've had since 1959 under the Eisenhower administration was the Social Security disability income um, um, offering. And that says that if you have 40 quarters of work, you are able to receive benefits, and that is a blessing. I have benefits that are accrued to me after 40 quarters. I've received these benefits for 22 years while working part time. I've been very blessed for that, and it's been a very good experience for me. So I'm very blessed. The nice blessing of that is you can work and receive benefits at the same time. So that's a nice benefit. Um, I think the core element is trying to can combine benefits with work in a way that is works well within your system. Some members of I belong to the Grand Avenue Club, and some members of the Grand Avenue Club use the benefits to go back to school and are able to do that as well. So it's a very nice arrangement to have, and so these are elements that work well together. What I think the solution is very individual, and I think that the solution is that Tim.
Hi, Neil.
Hi, Tim. How are you?
How is he doing? Hi.
Good. I'm good. How are you
All
doing?
right. I'm okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, here. Welcome to the show. I was just Emily. You want to introduce Tim?
Yeah, so we have our host of the show here, Tim Torosian. Co-host Neil and Tim for the show. So take it away, guys.
Okay. So I was just talking about Helen Keller and Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and I was talking a little bit about the Social Security disability income movement as well. So we were talking about that. So did you want to share this week about our personal experiences and how we're facing any handicaps we have, whether they're actually disability or whether they're just facing the challenges of working? Did you want to talk about that this week?
Well, it's a great subject. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How is your work situation going? Yeah.
Well, I'm realizing that not everything's going to be a good fit. Like I'm working another job right now, and I might not find the opportunity I'm looking for. And that's okay.
Sure.
I'll just move on to another company until whenever. I keep moving on because I'm a temporary worker. And I'm just going to accept that, that, these companies are great companies, but I'm probably not a good fit.
Sure.
Yeah. And, I did on my other podcast, I have like 3 streams of income because I do caregiving.
Sure.
I do caregiving. I do, a temporary job, temp work, and then I do gigs for Craigslist once in a while, so that's a 3rd stream, and I've decided to add another stream, a 4th stream. I'm going to find something else that I do that I'm good at and try and make a business out of it, a regular weekly thing. Yeah, so I'm also going to counseling right now, and it's helping me.
Sure. Good.
And I really like my counselor too. But
yeah, I have counseling that's helpful.
I find it really, I'm 60. It's the first time I've ever done this.
Sure.
It's like a big weight is lifted off my shoulders after the first session.
Good. Sure.
So less stress, a lot less stress, and I have this helper personality, like I like to help. I shut that down. What I was realizing is I was a little too, like, I could take care, like I could see with people. I have a special talent, right, to help people, and then I realized, you know what? I don't have that.
Sure.
And I'm not being invited into anybody's life. So I decided not to do that.
Sure.
Yeah, I decided, hey, well, if it doesn't work, stop doing it.
Right.
And I mean, that's kind of a personal take from me,
Sure.
I'm being personal, and I'm like, this is how I see things. And it's just, if everybody would act the way I thought they should act, it would be a greater place, but they're not going to.
Mm.
They're not going to. I can't make that influence. And I need to be perceptive, right? Instead of forceful, so it doesn't, there's no quantity of anything that I should have. It's quality.
Right.
I don't get everything. I don't deserve everything. I'm not the brightest. I just have my point of view and my experience. And
Right.
that's all I have. For me to be the person who I thought I was, that I have the great idea, that I have a better way to do things, and I don't know. Too bad, I don't. So that makes me, and I know we talked about it. What I want to do is a 10-year plan, but I think a 5-year plan makes more sense.
Sure.
Right? Because if you do the most important things first, in 5 years, you should have a lot wrapped up.
Mm-hmm.
You should have a good, so that's it, Neil. I don't know. I'm at a time where things are going well. I don't expect that to change.
Mm.
I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are struggling a bit at work, and it's always been a challenge. So I'm going to talk to my boss about it tomorrow. And it may be time to move on from this position. I've been there 2.5 years, almost 3. It'll be 3 in December, and maybe it'll be time to do that, where I could give notice and do that, and move on and find something where my skills are better used, with working with people more than working with my hands. And I think that'll be more effective. I think with you, I think it's good to have a long-term goal. But like you said, you have to meet first things first, and that's the challenge we have to do, is meet first things first. And so, if we can, that's the challenge we have.
Well, I think if you can see yourself in a 4-year window at a company, but that's just not the way. A lot of places, it's hard to see. Like you and me, we might not be able to see 6 months
Sure.
into the future.
Sure.
And so, what about 4 years? I mean, where do you see yourself in 4 or 5 years is a good expression.
Sure.
What is it that I definitely need to get accomplished, like pronto, right?
Right.
What am I unhappy with? And I've been looking at that in my life and going, this is almost to the point of emergency for me.
Sure.
Okay, it's very personal. This has to get done today.
Right.
All right. Now, like, I have sleep apnea, right? So they told me, oh, you could wait till November for your next appointment to get started. Well, I don't know if you know, but it's July now.
Sure.
So I have to take extra measures. I have to call my doctor and say, look, I need you to make this faster. I can't wait till November for them to fit me up with this machine.
Yeah, sleep apnea.
Because I have severe. Well, what do you got? I mean, I suppose my paper says I take 36 in an hour. I take 36 breaks while I'm sleeping.
Wow. Sure.
That's pretty serious.
That is serious.
So that's my personal journey. That I don't have 4 years to figure that out.
Sure.
I need to start putting this machine on and like tomorrow, like in 24 hours.
Sure.
So I have to take extra steps to make that happen. Nobody's going to help me with that, right?
Right.
And maybe nobody, I don't give advice, but I definitely go out there and seek advice.
Hmm.
So that's what I've heard from people, get on the horn,
Right.
make them do something for
Hmm.
you. That's important. But I like to talk about that. What else do we got to do? Right? Except talk about what we're going through.
Sure.
Oh, once
Yeah.
a week. How about that?
What was that?
I like that.
Yeah.
How about that? You talk about what you're going through this week,
Well, what
and
I'm
I'll do the same, Neil.
going through this week is the challenges of facing employment challenges, and that is a real challenge. I've had this job just under 3 years, and it's been a challenge for just under 3 years, and I really need to face that. And maybe my boss and I talked about the and it seemed like it was time to move on, and I didn't do that at that time. Now I think it's time to do that, and so I'll look into giving notice this week. I need to find something else, but and do that, so that'll be good. What I want to do is start volunteering at the Grand Avenue Club again, and volunteering there, and that can lead to more employment.
Well, if that's what makes you happy, there's
Yes,
no
I need
arguing
to.
that point. Yeah.
Yes.
We're at an age, we're not 20 years old anymore. When you're 20, everything makes you happy.
Right. Sure.
I guess now we're not.
Well,
Now we're like,
we have
oh,
that
there's a yeah.
you have challenges at 60 you don't have at 20. There's no age in which you have no challenge. Challenges. Every age has its own challenges.
Well, I wish those friends of mine to have some inner peace
Yes.
and to get that as fast as possible. To live in love, and to cherish and that's what I wish for everybody everybody that I not contact with, but those people I care about, and I want to I want to be there when they need me, and
Sure.
and I want to steer clear of them when they don't want that. It's like I've had a really good year because I shed the stuff that I decided wasn't good for me. I thought I could do everything, and I started to realize I'm just going to do the stuff that I'm good at, where people receive me in a positive way. And those two things, but I'm a positive person. That's not going to change. But
Yes.
I was making myself miserable just to be short about it, I was making myself unhappy. I was like doing things, thinking things that caused me to be irritated. So I stopped doing that. I stopped doing the stuff that was harming me, and I had to verbalize it somehow too. And the counseling, I think the counseling will help too.
But
So anyway, um, career wise, I have no idea where I'm going. I probably don't have one. I probably don't have a career. Yeah. So, I don't know. Uh, I'm gonna, um, I'm gonna go swimming. That's all I'm gonna do is across the street. They have Olympic-sized pools. I'm just gonna go
nice.
swimming. That's it.
Enjoy that.
That's it.
Great. We'll enjoy that for the evening.
Yeah. So, but yeah, maybe we get to Milwaukee. I hook you up. It's see what's going on.
Love to see you. Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be
We'll spend
great
that one
because
time we're able to do it, but yes, it'd be nice to see you.
well, I'm gonna make the effort
Okay.
where I talk to my friends about this too, where it's reciprocal, right?
Sure.
I'll make the effort,
Sure.
but I expect reciprocity. I expect people to I don't expect everything to be reciprocal, but
Sure.
I will respond to that definitely. And then, because I have people that I know in southeastern Wisconsin, they're great. And I lived, I spent half of my life there. I
Okay.
spent the other half over here in
Sure.
Madison.
Oh.
Half there, half here.
Sure.
So, and I get there and I realize that I don't like it over there.
Oh.
I like it over here. I don't
Sure.
want to be over there. I like Madison and Dane County because for whatever reason, I grew up on the city streets and I don't miss it. And so but yeah, it's been a good show. It's a good topic. Thank you. I ran with
Good.
it, but
Good. Okay. Let's turn it over to Emily and let her close us out.
All right then.
Again, thank both of you. Again, we are here every Sunday at 4 and 5:30 p.m. Central. If you'd like to be a guest, please let us know. Can make that happen on this or any of the other shows. And go check us out on all of our social media. And till next week, hope everybody has a safe and productive weekend.